it.
It's North Carolina.
Okay, so there's at least
Okay,
a description of
North Carolina being put down now.
writing down what the source was.
These are from Michigan.
Okay, now we're getting
These
ones.
are Petoskey stones.
Petoskey stones from Michigan.
Yeah, they're from Michigan.
I believe this also came from Lisa. It's from a rock from Washington State.
Where's that one from?
Vermont.
Both?
Yes. Tumbled flint from Ohio. Flint Ridge, actually, no less. So,
This is from Chicago, Illinois. Crack around already.
it is a geo.
Oh,
Look at that.
wow.
Probably due to the light and circumstances, the research he was involved in and what he was exposing, I have no doubt he is in a much better place not having to mess with this anymore. And but he left behind a huge hole in society and this whole genre of research that cannot be filled by anyone else, at least that I've ever ran into in this field or expect to run into. He's missed by many. And he made his fair share of enemies. But sometimes that happens if you're going to call their bluff, especially in front of 5,000 or 10,000 guests at a speaking engagement.
Ideally, we hope the Hour of the Time will continue forever, or at least as long as Doyle and I are around, which is going to be a good long time. We'd like to take the Hour of the Time in the same direction Bill was always pointing it. We don't want to deviate too far from that. Granted, we have to make the Hour of the Time a bit more our own. Bill Cooper's not around anymore, and we are constantly receiving emails, both good and bad, some saying, excellent job guys, really appreciate what you're doing, and some of them saying, you know, Bill wouldn't have done it this way. Well, unfortunately Bill's not around anymore, and he's not here to tell us how he might have done things. I think between Doyle and myself, we have a good understanding of what Bill would have wanted us to do. Some of it's in writing, and those things we were following to the T. And definitely the pursuit of truth is key, and the more knowledge you get, the closer you get to that goal.
I've seen too much through my life happenings to verify the problems and this whole one world government scheme. They're definitely not backing off. I've been privy to too much knowledge and research materials to give it up now. The naysayers out there that say it can't be reverted back, or our only choice is to sit here and wait for Christ to come because we're doomed or whatever, I don't agree with, because the same thing was told to the founding fathers and framers. And look what that small handful of men in colonies did and the ripples it caused around the world. And forever in world history what it's going to have caused. You know, they took on the British Empire. The sun never sets on the British Empire was the logo at the time, and the most powerful government in pretty much world history to that point. And they took it on, a bunch of people that knew that what was going on was wrong, and defeated it. And because of that, the Revolution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution and Bill of Rights, we completely rewrote the history of mankind, this country did. And to see it squandered because of a few families and secret societies behind the scenes pulling the strings of our fiat, essentially fiat government, would be to look back at all those men and women and children included, everything that have died preserving that heritage in this country, and just calling it all a waste of time. Everybody's fought for it and died for it, or been hurt one way or the other. That would be a complete waste of their lives, and to throw it away directly myself with possession of Bill's archives and stuff would just be saying that Bill's life was meaningless, to just box it up or just to turn it off and say later.
Do you understand what I'm telling you?
psychological warfare. It is not enough to simply review the latest technology of coercion, the most recent gadgetry and techno-junk littering the hardware and supply depots of governments and so-called cults. You see, far more dangerous than these appliances is the praxis behind them. Ages old, the underground current which informs the modern project and this modern era. You see, for life in our modern era is little more than life in an open-air mind-control laboratory. To transform the mass of targeted percipients plugged into the electronic and digital pageantry of the establishment's system of things into the perfect human zombie. They disguised their true intent and their true teachings, the esoteric, with a system of exoteric descriptions. Now, to the profane would mean one thing, and to the initiate or the adept would mean quite another. But that was then. This is now.
You're already in the New World Order. You're already in the New World Order. World Order.
What sort of creature inhabits the modern domain? Who is the modern man? He is the smartest, most advanced individual to ever strut the planet, the most relatively liberated being in history. He scoffs with great derision at the idea of the existence and operation of a technology of mass mind control